What's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Old Cranky Man channel. My name is Rugley, bringing some more Canadian Highlander from our Maple Cup Finals to you today. Listen, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. Jake, starting us off here with a currency converter. Mitch coming out quick with a Mox Diamond, a Seachrome Coast, and a Phyrexian Revoker. That's going to name the currency converter. This Paradox Academy deck that Jake is playing here is a combo deck, but it's not a combo deck in a sense that it finds X number of pieces and then wins the game on the spot, although a lot of the times that is how this works out. Basically, what this Paradox Academy deck is looking to do is make a whole bunch of mana and then cash in on some draw sevens. Make a whole bunch more mana and then find a simple win condition like Urza Lord High Artificer to cast your deck, Golos Tireless Pilgrim to do the same, or perhaps a Portal to New Phyrexia, although that one takes a lot longer. Mitch going to add a Smuggler's Copter to his side of the battlefield here. Jake is going to need to find something quick. The Smuggler's Copter with the ability to loot will end the game quite quickly, allowing Mitch to draw himself out of this mulligan, find some more threats, and get the job done that way. Jake just going to add a Signet to his side and pass back over to Mitch. Mitch really looking to come out strong and fast, get the game over as quickly as possible, because if it goes on for too long, Mitch does not have a ton of ways to interact with what Jake is doing here. You see crewing up the copter here as the Phyrexian Revoker jumps in. Jake gonna crack a fetch land. Let's see what he's got. It's gonna be a Hull Breacher. So Mitch potentially just declining to draw a card here. Jake will still take 3 from the copter. Gonna add a excuse me, Retrofitter Foundry and a Black Staff of Waterdeep to the battlefield. If Jake is going to make something happen, it needs to happen on this turn, because I believe if Mitch has another creature to add to the battlefield to crew up this copter, he will be facing down 11, is it 11? 9 damage next turn. And that'll be a 2-turn clock. Here is 5 mana. That is a Bring to Light. Bring to Light, going to be able to go find basically any card in the deck that's not one of these crazy 9 mana things. You see him pull a Tinker to the front here. I believe that is a Sail to the West. Also, Sail to the West kind of functions. I see it can be either a draw 7 or, I don't know, it's a Will of the Council card. So when you play it, you vote. One vote is a draw 7. I don't remember what the other vote is. Let's see what Jake decides to do here. That is a draw 7 of some sort. Not 100% sure what it is. Let's see, what is that draw 7? It looks to be one that shuffles the graveyard in, so we know that. Let's see. I believe that is... Oh, it's definitely a Windfall. Is it a Windfall? Draw 7s that are in the deck. Oh, perhaps it's Time Twister. I'm not sure. Got Time Twister. Got Wheel of Fortune. Got Windfall. Got Echo of Eons, Time Spiral. That Bring to Light can go find any of the draw 7s. Also has a Memory Jar. Absolutely backbreaking in combination here with this Hull Breacher, though, as that's going to make him 7 treasure tokens. I see an Orcish Bowmasters, a Chromatic Orrery, the One Ring. I believe that was a Wargate on the side there. The Wargate will be able to go and find the Tolarian Academy, which can immediately start tapping for mana. That's what it is. It is a Wargate, and if I'm not mistaken, there is a 4 on those treasure tokens, so he paid 3 for it, which means he's getting something that costs 0. Could it be the Tolarian Academy? It is indeed the Tolarian Academy. So that will tap for 1, 2, 3. So that Tolarian Academy taps for just 7 mana right now. That's all. No big deal, right? Jake's still not played a land for turn, and I think he actually has a Deserted Temple in hand. So Deserted Temple, I believe that's what that card is. I could be mistaken. Deserted Temple, a card that allows you to untap another land. So you could pay one of the 7 mana that the... maybe that's not the Deserted Temple. Let's see what we've got. So here is 7 mana, and this is a Chromatic Orrery. And Chromatic Orrery is going to cast a Fabricate. So Fabricate will get to search the deck for an artifact card and put that into hand. I believe, let's see, Fabricate is 3 mana, so there should be 2 floating off of the Chromatic Orrery, in addition to the 4 treasures that are left over. It's a Memory Jar. So here's, 6 mana left over, so he will be able to play and immediately activate the Memory Jar. And we'll still have 1 mana left up. All right, so Memory Jar going to go to hand. He will cast it immediately. So just the single treasure token left. Memory Jar is going to get activated immediately. So hands are going to get set aside, and we'll have a fresh 7 cards off of the top. So what did we get? Manifold Key is a way that you can untap another artifact. So that's going to untap the Chromatic Orrery, and we'll make 5 more mana. Here is a Sensei's Divining Top. Looks like the top is going to get activated right away. I see that's the Deserted Temple. So Deserted Temple, 1 mana, tap it, untap another land. Mishra's Workshop and Retrofitter Foundry as well. All 3 cards going to go on top, and Sensei's Divining Top will immediately get activated to draw a card. It's going to be the Deserted Temple. Jake will use a mana to untap the Tolarian Academy, which now taps for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's see, are there 6 treasures left over? Something like that. So the Tolarian Academy now taps for 12. Going to cast a Grim Monolith. Grim Monolith is going to tap for 3. Looks like 1 mana floating. That'll cast a Talisman of Dominance. So now the Academy are tapping for 13, 14. Jake now considering the options. I did not get a good look at what else is in hand here. He's making tons of mana. If he can find another way to untap and make more, one of these threats gets super. That is a Capsize with 20. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 24 mana available to him. We'll be able to bounce 4 of Mitch's permanents and put the Capsize back in hand. So it looks to be the Smuggler's Copter, Phyrexian Revoker, Retrofitter Foundry, and the Mox Diamond all going to go back to hand. And that will be it. So, oh, I forgot about the Memory Jar. Holy cow. So the Memory Jar trigger at the end of the turn is going to make Mitch discard all of those cards that Jake bounced with the Capsize. That's insane. Capsize. Did I ever tell you that Capsize is one of my favorite cards? Here's the One Ring. It's going to get activated right away to draw a card. The One Ring in combination with Paradox Academy or something like Manifold Key to just, yeah, exactly, do this thing that he's doing right here. 4 mana Ancestral Recall. Now, he can untap it again. So he has now drawn 6 cards in 1 turn off of this One Ring. absolutely insane. As you see the Manamo added to the battlefield here, that's going to allow him to untap it again. Here is, looks like 3-4 mana, a billion cards in hand. Here is an Urza Lord Eye Artificer. Things not looking good for Mitch at this point. Jake has access to 1,000,000 mana. He's got this one ring. And now the Urza Lord High Artificer will allow him to just start Mind's Desiring the top of the deck. Here is a Retrofitter Foundry getting added to the board. So Tolarian Academy tapping for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Holy cow. Here is a Wheel of Fortune. Hands are going to go away. Fresh 7 off the top. I see a Fast Bond, City of Traders, Island, Lotus Petal. Didn't quite catch what else was drawn there. 7 treasure tokens are going to get made for Jake here from the Hull Breacher. This is absurd. And I believe that's blue mana from the Tolarian Academy there, though. So we have 8 mana floating. So the Academy must have tapped for 11. Adding a Fast Bond to the battlefield. And if you're curious how he's playing all these colored spells, that Chromatic Orrery allows him to spend mana as though it were mana of any color. So he does not even need color fixing now. He can just cast whatever he wants. The One Ring, adding 4 more cards to the hand. Total cards drawn, 10. Deserted Temple, going to untap the Manamo. Manamo going to get activated again to untap the One Ring. Total cards drawn for the One Ring now 15. If Jake doesn't find a way to end this game in short fashion, that One Ring is very likely to kill him. We'll need something, at least if not this turn, on the next turn. Mitch certainly can't end the game next turn, but could probably cobble something together in combination from the now 5 life loss that Jake will take in the upkeep every turn from this One Ring. Here is a Walking Ballista. And this, with all of the mana that Jake can make here and mana that he has left over, Urza turning all of these, Everflowing Chalice on 0 is just Mock Sapphire, right? Got to be pretty close to a concession. Here is a, look at that, it's a Time Spiral. Not only do we get to draw 7 fresh cards off of the top, but we also get to untap the Deserted Temple, the Manamo, and the Tolarian Academy. That certainly it will be enough mana to give this Walking Ballista 40 power or something like that. I'm curious just exactly how much mana Jake has produced on this one single turn, because it has been an absolute ton of mana. Mitch just mindlessly shuffling the deck here, even though he does not actually get to draw any cards. I believe Jake is waiting to draw his hand of 7 until Mitch has finished up shuffling. So while he does that, please subscribe to the channel. Comment down below who you think is going to take down this 3-game set here in the Maple Cup Finals. Jake, 7 fresh cards off of the top. 7 more treasure tokens from the Hull Breacher, and there is the Paradox Engine. So with any other spells in hand, basically, Jake has enough to make infinite mana. Certainly make that Walking Ballista big enough to end the game on the spot. And that is it. Mitch has seen enough. We're on to game 2 here. So I believe Mitch was on a mulligan to 6 that game. The start with the Mox Diamond would put him effectively at a mulligan to 5. So Mitch's deck is more than capable of cobbling together blistering fast starts that can end the game on turn 3 or 4. Bunch of 0 mana artifacts, Cranial Plating, or Michiko's Reign of Truth, something like that, to make a creature big enough to end the game in 2 or at most 3 attacks. That is definitely the kind of hand that he will need to stay alive in this tournament and get to play a game 3. Looks like Mitch did not like what he sees. Going to immediately send those back for a fresh hand in Jake's hand. I believe I saw a Urza Lord High Artificer and a Reap and Sow. I think that was a Inventor's Fair. That's an Oko Thief of Crowns. Didn't get a good look at what else, but I don't know if I saw any lands, so hopefully he's got a nice mix of lands in there to go along with his spells. Paradox Academy doesn't play a ton of lands. It has 32, so it's a little bit less than usual, but the thing about it is it draws so many cards with all of these wheels, all of these draw 7s in here. If you put too many lands in this deck, you're just going to draw a bunch of lands, and that's no good. You want to have good spells. Good spells, Mitch. Looking at 7 more cards here. Hopefully you'll keep a good 6. See a couple of lands, a Mox Opal, a Lotus Petal, a Hangerback Walker, I believe that is a Caracas, and a Windswept Heath. Not sure what that last card in hand is. Oh, I see a Spellskite. That is not what Mitch wants to see either, although that hand did have lands and spells. Not going to get much done with an 0-4. Gonna send it back and hope for a better 5. It looks like Jake is keeping the 7. So let's see. I see Urza. Definitely see a Reap and Sow in there. Inventor's Fair. Does he have a colored mana source? That's my question. He'll need a colored mana source. The Reap and Sow will be able to go find the combination of Deserted Temple and Tolarian Academy. But without a colored mana source, I suppose he could have a Talisman in hand or something like that that would be able to give him colored mana. Mitch's 5-card hand now. You see a City of Traders, a Etch Champion, an Umezawa's Jite, a Seachrome Coast, a Swords to Plowshares, and that last card, it's either a Mana Vault or an Aether Vial. I think it's a Mana Vault. Jake gonna take the play with a Gemstone Caverns. Pitching that Reap and Sow here. That's wild. Here is a Sylvan Scrying. That I'm not sure what that card in hand was in here. Maybe it is the Mana Vault, but here's the Enlightened Tutor, favoring that over playing the turn 1 Etch Champion, which you gotta respect it. Let's see what he goes and gets out of the deck. It looks like the land that Jake chose to get off of that Sylvan Scrying was a Seat of the Synod. Interesting. Let's see which artifact or enchantment Mitch chooses to get with the Enlightened Tutor. Oh, is that the, I don't know what this card is called. It's a flyer that deals you a damage every time you, it's a flyer that deals you damage every time you cast a spell. So it's like Aetherflux Reservoir, but instead of gaining life, you lose life, and it's symmetrical. So it happens to both players. And it looks like Mitch is going to play that Mana Vault and then play the Carpet Rug. Tell me what this card is called, chat. So Seat of the Synod going to get sacked to the Tinker here, and that's going to find a Chromatic Orrery. Chromatic Orrery is immediately going to get tapped, and Jake is going to play, let's see, got an Urza in hand. Is it Signet? And an Urza Lord High Artificer, so he will have to take 3 to do that. And that's going to make a Construct token. Mitch is going to take a damage from his Mana Vault. And let's see what he is got. This construct is a 3/3, I believe. But the carpet has flying, so we'll be able to attack for 1 in the air. So we have a dedicated storm deck running around. We have a couple of these Paradox Academy running around. I believe that I wish I could remember what this card is called. I should really pull up Mitch's deck list and pull this up. But it is a great card against these storm decks. Let's see here. So this is the Rug of Smothering. It is a 3-mana 1/3 flyer. Whenever a player casts a spell, they lose 1 life for each spell they've cast this turn. So, bit of a hate bear against all of these combo decks. You see, Oko, Thief of Crowns, is going to turn the Rug of Smothering into an elk. No more of that. Jake going to activate the Urza Lord High Artificer. That is going to find a defense grid, which will get cast. And we will pass back over to Mitch. Going to take a damage from the Mana Vault. Here is a Marsh Flats. And I believe he still has that Swords to Plowshares in hand. Not sure what the other card is. Mitch has produced a couple of good targets for that Swords to Plowshares. Urza going to be able to block that Rug of Smothering that's now an elk really, really efficiently. Mitch would need a way to make his rug bigger. Perhaps a Swords to Plowshares here going to take care of one of these creatures. Although Jake's construct token is quite large. It is a 5/5 currently. That will end the game a lot faster than a 3/3 elk. Swords Plowshares going to take care of Urza. And the Rug of Smothering Elk will get in the red zone. We'll knock Jake down to 11 as he untaps here. I believe just 1 card left in hand, and without that Urza, he might have to leave this construct back on blocking duty. Going to gain a life from the Inventor's Fair. And activate the Sensei's Divining Top. On top, I see a copy artifact. Didn't get a good look at what else was there, though. Maybe 3 cards in hand for Jake, so perhaps he has a little bit more, although, I mean, this construct token is going to get the job done in just a few turns, especially if he adds more artifacts to the battlefield to make it a little bit bigger. Drawing with that top did, of course, make it a little bit smaller. Did he draw it with the top, actually? I'm not sure if he did. Perhaps he didn't. I recall this judge call. Players were asking if Oko changed the super type, so whether or not the Rug of Smothering was still an artifact. It is not. It is a 3/3 green elk creature token. Sorry, not token. It's a 3/3 green elk. All right, I believe players have their confirmation now. Jake will proceed with the turn. So Oko is going to get activated and turn the defense grid into a 3/3. Oko, Thief of Crowns. What a card. Jake is going to take 7 here, down to just 8. Here is 2 mana from Jake. Going to add, not 100% sure what that card is. Uh, the room that we are streaming in is actually getting renovated, so we've been having to get creative, and the lighting is very, very bright. So, done our best to try to minimize this glare. Unfortunately, it is inevitable. Looks like Mitch is going to crack this marsh flats on the instep and go find a hallowed fountain. That will be lethal now. Jake does have 7 power on board. Mitch going to need to find something really, really good off the top to be able to stay in this. Of course, that Rug of a Smothering Elk could stay back and block one of these creatures, but we will not keep him alive for too long. He's going to take another damage here from this Mana Vault. 3 or 4 damage total taken from that thing over this turn. Didn't get a good look at see what Mitch had in hand here, but it'll have to be something super impressive. Here is 3 mana. It is an Etched Champion. So we do have 3 artifacts. So the Etched Champion does have protection from all colors. It can block this elk really, really well. Unfortunately, something is probably going to have to get in the way of this very large construct token. Maybe Mitch actually is just choosing to keep the Windswept Heath in hand here. Jake going to spin the top and draw a card at the end of the turn. It is a Pact of Negation for the Etched Champion. That's why we put the Windswept Heath back in hand, because Jake was thinking about that play right there. We'll choose to play the Windswept Heath, and an Orcish Bowmaster is going to deal 1 more damage, and that would be enough. Jake, with Paradox Academy, going to take this one down 2-0. If you haven't taken a look at either of these decks, you don't know what they are, look down in the description of this video. There is a link to both of these deck lists. Go check out that Paradox Academy deck. It's wild. Check out Mitch's Steel Stompy deck. I promise you've never seen anything like it. Once again, if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn notifications on so that we get to annoy you every time we upload a video. And don't forget, get off my lawn. See you guys in the next one. Bye.